Hello everybody, Andy here, and today I'm doing a Patreon Q&A. This is the third one I've done, and this is just a little way for me to give back in a unique way to my patrons, because of course my patrons are super cool dudes and dudettes who I would like to give back in more ways than I can, but this is at least one thing I can do. So what I do here is I go to my patron and I say, hey patrons, do you have any questions for me? These questions can be about literally anything. They don't have to be Kill Team based. They could be about my personal life. That's weird though, why would you want to know about that? It could be about 40k, it could be about Blood Bowl, it could be about literally anything. But they're generally about Kill Team, so. Shocker, right? Okay, so anyway, let's jump in to the questions. I brought them up here, let's move me over here, there you go, lovely. Cool. Okay, so amusingly, when I posted this, this was the first question from Francois. When is season 3 going to start? And I was like, oh, should I even put this in the video? But actually, since then, we've had a rumor. So it turns out, Francois, November, apparently. Now, this is an interesting one. So this obviously comes from Valrak. I don't know why I even bother saying we have a rumor. We all know it's only Valrak. Valrak is the only guy that leaks stuff when it comes to Kill Team. He is the leak. And he had a live stream. Again, I don't really watch him. He's fine, just not for my taste. And luckily, the people that do watch him went ahead and reported, you know. And apparently somebody had asked, oh, what's the next Kill Team box going to be? Which of course he leaked ages ago, which he says is going to be Scorpions and Scouts. But I think it was like a few days ago, somebody asked him that. He said that, and I said, it's coming in November. And he said it's coming in November in just such a blasé way. Like, to him, he doesn't care about Kill Team at all. So it's nothing to him, right? So he's just like, oh yeah, November. So in a weird way, the fact that he said it and didn't make a big deal out of it makes me think he's correct. So November. It's a way away, isn't it? Yeah, that is quite far away. But you know what? That's okay. Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm having fun playing Kill Team. In fact, right here, we have my board still set up from yesterday, where I played my Wormblade, my Warp Coven into the Wormblade. Wormcold? It's Wormblade, yeah. And my patrons, of course, have an unedited battle report up where you can watch that if you want. And there were no technical issues, so I might actually go ahead and edit that to be a proper video on my other channel. We shall see. Okay, moving on. Do you think that for the next edition of Kill Team, which is probably coming out next year because GW loves their 3-year cycles now, should they redo, from McFloss. Should they redo everything and make it more like Warcry, where everything seems to be quicker and the rules are more simple, or just try to tighten up the current rules to make some things easier to understand? Also, is Iron Brew as good as many as my friends make it out to be? So I'll start with the Iron Brew question. I believe that I have tasted Iron Brew once, like 20 years ago. So, pass. Don't know. I actually have no idea what it tastes like. The advert goes, it tastes like girders. Because it's made of iron, right? I don't know. So that doesn't really appeal to me, if I'm honest. It's like, oh, go lick a penny or become a vampire or something. I'm good. Okay. Next edition of Kill... from what we know, I think it's fair to say that the next edition of Kill Team is going to be an iteration on the current rule set of Kill Team. The reason I say this is because they've just hired more people for the Kill Team staff, or they put out that career job opening, and it would be weird to do that and then completely change the game again. Yeah, just why would you do, if you managed to completely change the game to this version before hiring anybody, why do it now for the next one, you know? It's like, clearly they've hit a stride and they're going that direction, and they've put a lot of kind of marketing and guff behind this one with all the different, you know, we've got a lot going on for us in the kill team sphere right now, is all I'm saying. So it would be very odd for me if they completely redid everything. Now, what changes are they going to make? No clue at all. But it will be some sort of iteration. There you go. I'd be shocked if it's more than just tweaks. Yeah. Gin of the Sheep. Given your preference to win, it's awkward because I lose a lot. Who would you rather play a game of Kill Team against? Ace, who would give you a great game but ultimately beat you with ease, or someone new to the game. You teach them, but the win wouldn't give you much satisfaction. Well, firstly, if I was playing somebody new to the game, if I'm teaching somebody, they win the game, let's be clear. But, no, it'd be Ace every time. Teaching is fine and fun once or twice, and I don't mind it, but it's not really playing Kill Team. So to my mind, the only option you've really given me when it comes to playing a game of Kill Team is playing Ace. Teaching Kill Team isn't playing Kill Team. It's fine, I'm happy to teach, but it isn't playing the game. So, and also, obviously if I get to play, the best players around, that's a great learning experience for me. So hopefully I will become better. So it'd be good, yeah. I don't demand to win, which is good because I don't win. So, yeah. Scuba Steve, do you think James' workshop will feel bad for nerfing Fellgor so hard? I'm just bitter as I haven't got round to painting them yet. So, Fellgor took a nerf, and I think the nerf was fine. I think that Fellgor, as they stand now, probably really nice 50% win rate is where they're going to end up. They just need to touch on the fact that right now, the way it's worded, potentially you can get killed in a single shooting attack. Just clarify that's not what they intend, and I think they're fine. In fact, Fellgor are one of the teams that I'm looking at moving on to now that I've played my final Warp Coven game. I can start playing other things, and Fellgor might be the one because I really don't think they're that bad. In fact, I was poking through BCP win results earlier today at work. What am I going to do, work? And they did decently. They've done decently in one or two tournaments. Like, they're placing. They're not winning. They're not quite podiuming, or maybe one of them came third. But they're there. They exist. They're doing fine. Chris, I never know how to say your second name. I just call you Academic Chris. But now that you've been on Play on Tabletop, what's your next big trip? KTO3, LVO, something in Australia, perhaps? Good question. I've got no idea. Until about yesterday, I was thinking of going to Poland, Warsaw, to do a big team tournament that they have. I thought that'd be fun, but for various reasons, I won't be doing that now, I think. Likewise, I'd like to go to Spain, although you could argue that's all not a big trip, that's all in Europe, so I could do that on a weekend sort of thing. Am I going to Australia? No. Firstly, too expensive. Secondly, spiders. It's not going to happen, to be honest with you. I'd be too scared. KTO3, I don't think they're doing KTO3. I don't know if things have progressed, but kind of as I was leaving there, originally they were saying, yeah, we're done. Like the TOs that ran it are kind of like, yeah, we're good. They had their fun and they're moving on. So if there is a KTO3, maybe, I don't know. But my belief is it's not happening. I would like to go to another big American one, but honestly, I'm not sure. Okay, the problem with going out to play Kill Team is that that's what you do, and then you don't get to see anything else. You don't get to see any of the rest of the convention. You don't get to, you don't really get to hang out with people that much because you're pretty tired, really. So you can't give it your all. So you're, as odd as it sounds, in my opinion, going out to play Kill Team is the worst reason to go out somewhere. Yeah, which is why I quite like the concept of me going out to be involved in some way, but to not actually play Kill Team because that's too much. So, I was vaguely considering going to PAX, but that fell through for various reasons. So, there we go. I will go though next year at some point. Cool. As a side note, he continues, I was trying to be funny, I was trying to space out play on Tabletop Weird and got a very George Lucas name, Playon Tub Litop. Yes, that does sound like something George Lucas would do. Oh, and he continues again, Strikeforce Justinian wouldn't replace Intercession as the mindless faction. I think that Strikeforce Justinian is going to be just fine, and I think they're not mindless. The thing with Intercession is that they're all essentially the same, right? Whereas Strikeforce Justinian, everyone's a little bit different. Or at least they're more different than Intercession are different to each other. So I think, oddly, Strikeforce Justinian are less mindless than Intercessors. However, I think they're a decent faction. Are they as strong as Intercession? Probably not quite, I would say. They don't have quite as much flexibility, which obviously makes sense because they are a fixed team. So I don't think we're going to see them at the heady heights of Intercession, but I think they're going to be doing just fine. And if you want to play them in a mindless way, then you totally can. There's something quite nice about not having to build a list, you know? Like, it actually feels quite good sometimes to just say, no equipment, well, no TAC ops, but you should play with TAC ops. I'm going to go for it, which is quite fun. I've enjoyed the times I've played them. Admittedly, I was still learning the team, but for obvious reasons, similar to Intercession, they're not actually going to keep you entertained for too long if you play Kill Team on a regular basis. But if you're playing once a month, yeah, probably. I think Strikeforce Justinian is going to be more fun for you than Intercession, so play that. And if you want to call that mindless, go for it. Scuba Steve again, I believe, yes. Triple hello to you, thank you, Scuba. Oh my god. Hey, if you're a subscriber to my channel, I'd like to give you a big double hello. Wow. Hey, that's a subscriber-only benefit on this Patreon Q&A. So if you want that in the next video, like, subscribe, leave a comment right now. You didn't see that coming, did you? Because it was right at the end of the video because I forgot to do it. Woo! Just keeping you guys on the leash. The leash? The hook? Very similar things, but quite different metaphors. Very obviously, I have a Patreon. Go and check that out. There you go. All right, on with the video. Some other questions ignoring Fellgor. Do you think there's a place in the core rules for narrative/campaign within Kill Team, or should it be left to Necromunda or equivalent? For what it's worth, it would be amazing if it worked, but Spec Ops feels janky at the moment. I asked for a follow-up, but he didn't give one. I said, can I ask why you feel Spec Ops feels janky before I answer this? He didn't respond. Let me tell you why he didn't respond. Because Patreon, not really the best site when it comes to letting you know that there have been responses. If I'm honest, it's not the most user-friendly. So, is there space for narrative campaign with yeah, 100%. But it depends what you're there to do. I'm always a big proponent of the idea that narrative campaign is just do what's fun. Like, don't let GW tell you what to do, but at the same time, I understand that's very easy to do when you're with like very open and accepting friend groups. But if you want to, play essentially a random player, like maybe at your local game store of narrative campaign, then you can't do that. You have to have a rule set to follow. You can't just make stuff up, right? You have to have a rule set to follow. Does Kill Team provide that? At the moment, Games Workshop is really into the concept of everyone can always play narrative, even if the other person is playing match play. It just means that you can't use your upgrades, but don't worry, at the end of the game, you can still apply everything that happened in that battle to your team, right? And they're big on pushing that. And because of that, inevitably, it means that, well, you're not really playing narrative, are you? Like, you're just doing admin between the games for no real reason, but nobody else is doing it, why are you doing it, kind of thing. which is fine. I think, if I'm honest, the narrative that Kill Team has is fine, nothing wrong with it. It's a good beginner start, and I think it was grown upon quite nicely on Into the Dark, and again with Ashes of Faith. I think they've given narrative players quite a lot. However, I think it could be improved with a slightly more thorough, perhaps, expansion, which focuses on how you can level up your guys, perhaps, so that they are, I don't know. I haven't really played enough. I had wanted him to answer why does Spec Ops feel janky before I answer, because I don't really know what his complaint there is. I have no doubt that things can be improved upon, but at its core, maybe I'm wrong here, but at its core, Kill Team is a competitive game. It is a tight competitive game, and making that narrative you can, but if you just want narrative campaign, there's probably something better for you to play out there, to be honest with you. Yeah, there you go. Proper big OG elites, Terminators, Meganobs, that kind of thing. Will they ever get a Kill Team? I hope not. Okay. So will those big hulky things, kind of like Custodes, get their own Kill Team? No. I guess not. So we've seen that, I mean, we're just trying to guess what will Games Workshop do, right? We've seen Games Workshop release big tanky things like the new Space Marine Terminators whilst Kill Team has existed and not put them into Kill Team, right? Which they could have done. They could have done that, but they haven't. So we know that they're not released, but then we don't know a rhyme nor a reason for why they do release something in Kill Team and not in Big 40k. They might do it. I don't know why they would, if I'm honest. Like, it's entirely possible that behind the scenes, you've got the product guy who knows nothing about Kill Team, and he's having a chat with the model guy who knows nothing about Kill Team, and they're like, oh, hey, look, we've got these new Orc Meganobs, right? Orc Meganob range refresh, yeah? We haven't put any big dudes into Kill Team, let's put them in. And they'll go, yeah, that sounds cool. We haven't done that before, have we? And they've checked it off in their weekly team meeting, and then they show it to the rules guy, and he's like, what? Why did you agree to that? And boom, we have to have a big OG elite, as you say, in Kill Team. We don't really know the inner workings of the GW pipeline. We don't really know how much say the dedicated Kill Team staff get. Like, they obviously had to somehow make Novitius work, so clearly they don't get to have too much of a say. It does seem like GW is still, at its core, a model company, and it's models first, and they're like, right, we have these models. Kill Team, you get this one. Don't know why. Don't know why. Finally, oh wait, sorry. Would you rather have fingers as your ears or your ears as fingers? My 5-year-old, a good question. Would you rather have fingers as your ears or your ears as fingers? So I could double up on the number of fingers, but they would be attached to my head. Or I could lose all fingers and but then have extra hearing on my hands. I'm not ready to give up my fingers, so I would have to go fingers as ears. I don't think I'd live much longer after making that transfer, but that's what I'd go with, yeah. And I'd be deaf as well. Yeah, okay. Anyway, Stooge Co. In your opinion, did the Fellgor nerf go too far? Looks have affected them in the results quite heavily. So, I kind of already answered this, as I think Scuba Steve already asked. And actually, I don't think so. Yes, to clarify, Fellgor have had a very strange life cycle. They were OP broken for a really short amount of time before Chaos Cults were OP broken. And everyone that had jumped to Fellgor immediately jumped to Cults, it seems. And so Fellgor, in an odd way, their pick rate was just plummeted. Firstly, you couldn't get the models. Secondly, they weren't very good. They were good. Couldn't get the models, and there was a better team that did essentially the same thing. So yeah, so very odd. As said before, I don't really know what happened with like the overall win rates and pick rates at the moment, because unfortunately, Hot Sauce Teddy, the stats guy, has stopped updating for now, for some reason. Don't know why. He will come back apparently, but we don't know when. So we don't know the current this month pick rates and win rates. But just as I was looking through BCP yesterday, I saw them placing acceptably. I think they're fine, to be honest with you. Yeah. Cool. And that's it. Oh, wait. Wrong one, sorry. Let's get that off and let's move me along. Well, there you go, everybody. Wasn't that a barrel of fun? Hey, if you made it to the end of the video, I'd like to give you a big triple hello. Wow, wasn't that so wholesome? On an interesting minor note, you see in this little, how does it, here, you see I have an Etsy page and I'm selling some objective markers. Normally I just have this up here and I don't actually have those Etsy objective markers in stock. Right now, bizarrely, I actually do. So if you want those, go pick them up, because I'm pretty lackadaisical about getting them back in stock. Cool, well there you go. General public, thank you so much for watching, and if you are a patron member, thank you triply so much for watching. Obviously, as I always say, genuinely supporting the channel really helps me out in so many ways, honestly. Cool, well with that done, what have we got next? Well, I obviously need to edit a battle report if I'm going to do that. I also have a boss battle script completed and ready to be recorded. But I'm kind of holding off recording that script until I've also done a battle report edit of it, because I think that might be fun. Don't know. We'll see how I vibe on that one. And I've also got one of the most fun teams that's coming out. So I've finished that script. And is there anything else? Oh, I'm still in general considering 40k and whether or not I like it, because I like it so much in theme and I really want to like the game. I've said it before, I have never spent so much energy trying to like something that I actively do not like before. So still going for it, guys. And then I also have, as my patrons know, of course, I'm currently buying some Blood Bowl stuff. Can't really tell you for why, but I have. So presumably I'm going to do something with Blood Bowl, but I don't really know what. And then, and I don't think anybody cares about this, but I have done it. I've bought a whole load of War Machine Mark IV stuff. I bought the Signar and Kador starter sets and expansion army for both of them, just because I just really like them, to be honest. Yeah. I just really like that Arcano-punk vibe. It's very World of Warcraft, doesn't make any sense if you think about it, but I just kind of love it. So yeah, and maybe I'll do something with them. I at least want to get them painted so that I have, if I want a War Machine army ready to go. Ultimately, it will probably just sit on my shelves and just kind of be there as a cool thing, but cool. Same for my Blood Bowl teams, probably. Oh, and Shatterpoint, I still really enjoy Shatterpoint, but the only person near me that was willing to play no longer wants to play. So that's very frustrating. Okay, cool. Well, with that said, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Let's stay gangster and let's stay hydrated. Good news, the weather, the heat in England has finally broken, so I'm not actually dying in here, even if it does look like I'm still sweating like a pig. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good day. Bye.